Hey guys, welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew, and today we're going to do a little video on market gardening, which I haven't done in a while, and we're going to talk about 5 tools that I couldn't run my market garden without. So stick around and I'll talk about these 5 tools that make my life a heck of a lot easier in the market garden.
It's a great day to be alive. No sun still shining when I close my eyes. Listen, hard times in the neighborhood, but why can every day be just as good?
So the first tool I want to talk about is this. This is called the Greens Harvester, and what this does is this basket back here collects all of the baby greens, which is cut down here. You see this serrated blade down there, and all these tassels, they spin, and that blade moves side to side, cuts them, and these tassels push them into the basket. Now this saves me hours in labor, hours of time. It saves my back. I do have to bend over a little bit to use this tool, which I'll show you in a second because I'm about to harvest some baby red Russian kale for my salad mix this week. But this tool has been a game changer and allows me to harvest at least a portion of my greens in a fraction of the time with way less work. So I'll show you how this works. All right, so here's my row of red Russian kale. You could see the part here where I gave it a little haircut last week. That's where I last used the harvester. I left it a little taller up to the top of the row. That's where we're gonna cut. Then I just take all these greens and a lot of the weeds that shouldn't be in there and dump it into a tote. And where this tote goes is actually going to be tool number 2 that is very important on my market garden. All right, we're here at the next tool I want to talk about, and that is my cooler that I made using a cool bot and an air conditioner. And here's how it works. This device here, the cool bot, I set it to a temperature. I have it set to 40, although typically, because this fridge is so small, this could actually cool down a much larger fridge or area, whatever. So it actually gets colder than 40, so I keep it at 40, and it usually is around 34, 35 degrees in here. And this tricks the air conditioner. See, yeah, it's about 35. It tricks the air conditioner into working harder to hit these temperatures and make it really, really cool in here. And I harvest my lettuce, and I just harvested kale and beet greens using the greens harvester, and I can just put them here in the cooler, and later today we'll wash the greens and they'll stay cool until that time, and they'll stay fresh for the market tomorrow. So this allows me to harvest greens a day or 2 earlier than I would bring it to the market, and it makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to do it all the night before a market. Sorry, that's my rooster. It allows me to have a larger window to harvest things, and I can know that they're going to be cool and safe and shelf stable because they're in a temperature controlled environment like this. So I couldn't do my market garden without this cooler. And if you want to check out that video, I'll put a link for when I made that last year. All right, so the next tool I want to talk about here is a broad fork. Now this tool I got from a company called Treadlight, and I believe that this is the 24-inch wide model. They make all different size widths of this broad fork, it has these tines that are very deep. I want to say they're about 12 inches long, these tines. And what they do is aerate the soil. So these tines, you use your feet and push this down, you wiggle it back and forth into the soil, and this is a way of loosening the soil without using a rototiller. And I use this tool now every single time before I seed a carrot bed. I will use this broad fork, and I'll go about every foot. I will use this and aerate the soil. I also use this now during the harvesting of carrots, and I'll show you how I do that. You have to be careful. Some of the carrots go very deep into the clay subsoil, and it becomes very hard to get them out of the soil, and this allows you to loosen the soil and loosen the carrots so you can pull them out. So I have a carrot down here that is not budging, and you don't want to yank on this because you'll either break the top or the bottom and you won't have a nice looking carrot. So using this broad fork, I'm going to loosen the soil. I'll show you how I use it. I'll put my camera down and show you how this works. But you got to be careful when you do this not to get the tines too close to the carrots, because I've done this plenty of times. You can pierce the carrot. So you want to make sure that you have a couple inches of space in between so that these tines don't go and scrape part of the carrot off. There we go. I was able to pull that carrot out after loosening the soil, so that works. All right, so the next tool I want to talk about that I use on my market garden that makes my life a lot easier, especially on washing and packing days before the market when I need to wash my salad mixes. I put them in this bubbler that I made earlier this year. I did another video on that if you want to check that out. But with this bubbler, I can clean my greens, rinse them off, any dirt, bugs, whatever, in 60 seconds, sometimes less. I turn on the bubbler here. It's connected to a shop vac, and it works really good, and I'm glad that I did this. It saves me a lot of time in the washing and packing, and I have lots of other stuff to do, so I'm glad that I made this. And if you want to see that video, like I said, when I made this, you can go and check that out. Now here is the last tool that I want to talk about, and I really love this. This is the Earthway Cedar, and I'll put links to this and all the other things that I talked about in the description box below if you're interested in purchasing these. The Earthway Cedar, as far as I could tell, is the most affordable cedar that you could find on the market. It was like $120, something like that. I actually got this for my birthday last year. I didn't buy it, but this is what I wanted before I started my farm. Actually, might have got it for Christmas. I think I got it for Christmas. But this tool is amazing. I forget how many plates it comes with. A whole bunch of different plates for different size seeds. Let's see if I can get this loose here. This is a bean plate. I was just seeding a couple more rows of green beans, and I use this. This seems to work the best on the larger size seeds, so things like spinach and beets. It picks up those seeds really well. But I also use this for lettuce, arugula, carrots, which are very tiny seeds, and I use the lettuce plate for that one. Let me show you the lettuce plate. All right, so it must have come with 5 plates, or I hope it does, because these are the only ones that I found. But these all came with the cedar. This one is radish, spinach. I use this one a lot for my radishes, direct seeding that. Here is one for peas. Beets, Swiss chard. I've used this quite a bit for my Early Wonder tall top beets that I put in my spring mix. This one here I think is what I just took out. This is for beans. And this one here is for very fine seeds like lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, onions, cabbage. And you see it has a smaller divot there to pick up those seeds. And I found that the one thing that a lot of people complain about with this Earthway Cedar is it isn't that great for things like carrots. And I do find that it drops quite a bit more seed when you're seeding. So I just work with it. I've had very good germination with my carrots using this seed plate and this cedar. I'm starting to do 5 or 6 rows in my 30-inch wide beds, and it seems to be working very well for me. So with this Earthway Cedar, the money goes a long way. And if you don't even have just a market garden, if you just have a small homestead, and you have lots of in-ground raised beds like I have in the market garden, you could totally use this. I think there was a corn plate too. Might have missed the corn plate, but you could also plant corn. There's a plate to plant corn with this too, which I haven't tried yet. I want to. But you could totally use this on a small homestead, and it would make your life a whole lot easier, and you wouldn't have to bend over and plant each seed by hand. And it's just a great tool to have. I'm actually about to seed some more rows of carrots later tonight, so I'm going to put in this carrot plate right now. You just slide it back there and turn it back a little bit until the wheel starts to move, and then you're good. And this is now good to go to seed some carrots or other small seeds like that. All right, and that's gonna wrap up this video on 5 tools I couldn't run my market garden without. If you found some value in this video, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would really help out our channel. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. I would really appreciate it. And that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.